All right, here's a disclaimer. You hear it first. I'll wait a few minutes. I'll wait. Nah, maybe not. This is a show that's going to spoil the last episode of Mandalorian. If you're just entering this chat and you hadn't seen it yet, shame on you, because you're supposed to be a real Star Wars fan. You would see that before you even came here. And so, with that said, we are spoiling away. What's going on, friends? What's going on?
What's up?
I was really happy to see this ship, and I had to pull it out of storage.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Like, I mean, like that watching that, seeing that ship there, and that was probably about scene 2. Seeing that ship sitting there, man, that was, that's all the stuff that you dream about, man. Some of the like the comic stuff, or the animated stuff starting to come to real life. Hey, Troy.
Especially Lego too. Like Lego Star Wars is why I bought Lego. So and seeing these classic ships in the shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, there's a lot to talk about in this episode.
I got a script here, Troy. So we're gonna cut it down scene by scene, dude. Scene by scene.
Wow, you came prepared and everything.
Yeah, man. Scene by scene, dude. Scene by scene. We're gonna talk about it.
Cool.
We're definitely gonna talk about it. So before even pressing play, what was the anticipation for you guys?
Oh man. I wasn't even ready. Like I knew it was on, and I saw one review show where they were like, like a thumbnail for, reminding me that The Mandalorian was on today, and it was like, I don't know, it didn't look good. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was thinking the worst, like they were gonna kill the child going in. I was like, they're gonna kill the child.
Yeah. How about you, Troy? What was some anticipations before you press play?
I kind of had a feeling that they were going to rescue him. I didn't think they were going to kill him off, but I definitely, the surprise at the end, well, not at the very end, but at the end of the episode was kind of surprising.
They took him away in a different way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really.
All right, so let's talk about it. All right, so scene one, you see Slave One take over the Imperial shuttle. They're going to intercept the doctor, and go get the doctor
out.
Yep, and so what do you think?
Reenact it, Jesse, with the
reenact that thing, baby. Wait a minute, hold on. You got to reenact it. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me put it on the screen, bro. All right, there you go. Go ahead. So they coming in. Oh boy, you're not supposed to play with your Lego, sir. So they come in. You know how many times you'll get memed for that, man. Like people go back and screenshot that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So
I like when Star Wars starts with, that's kind of traditional too, is they start in space and they follow a ship.
Right.
Yeah, that was.
They're in the heat of battle. They get right to it. Boba Fett's chasing these guys down, and I thought maybe it was kind of part of the ploy, right? Because they take over that shuttle.
He's a bounty hunter, and we'll get back to that because we see something. It's a lot of stuff that goes down. And so he's a bounty hunter, right? And they stop the ship, right? Hit him with the ion blast. So he stops the ship, stop everything. How do you like the smart talking pilots?
Oh, yeah. What do you got? What do you think, Troy?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, so
one guy says, "Hey, look, I don't have a death wish, man. Are you crazy?"
Oh yeah, he didn't want to get into it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, the other pilot kills the other pilot with
one pilot kills the other pilot, and then he goes in on Cara Dune, of all people to piss off. You pissing off Cara Dune to talk about her home planet Alderaan.
Oh yeah.
Moto saying, "Hey Moto" in the chat, and thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Before that, he fires the ion cannon and shut them down.
Shut them down, man. Shut them down. Automatic.
I don't know if that's the right term, the ion cannon. That's what they did say.
Ion blast.
Ion blast. Yep. Shuts him down totally. Right.
Boba Fett has all kinds of secrets up his sleeve, and
Yeah, man, he's real tech savvy, man. You know, he an old guy, and
it's like the Batman of Star Wars.
Right, the Batman of Star Wars. Right. He an old guy, but he real tech savvy, man. You know, he's got these little gadgets that are just amazing. And so they get on a ship, right? They get on that ship, they take the doctor, right? Now, here's my impression of the doctor. I think the doctor is just under circumstance, right? You're a smart guy, you've probably been sequestered by the Empire because you're so smart, you're a scientist and everything like that. And so this is a part of a job. Do you agree, you know, the outcome of the job? Probably not, but for the benefit of the research, you're on board. So I don't think you're a bad guy, you know. I don't think you're a bad guy because in the end he does the right thing, right? And so
Right.
yeah,
he was kind of a gray character from the beginning when they showed him. He wanted to do his research and not kill the patient.
right.
Yeah.
Where Moff Gideon didn't seem to care, although, and I guess we'll talk about it later. He had quite the dramatic villain monologue.
Right.
In the Justice.
He did, indeed he did. And so scene 2, so they get the doctor, right? They get the doctor. They hot shot the last dude that was talking a lot of trash, right? She goes off and just blasts him away. And you can see the face of the Mandalorian without seeing the face of the Mandalorian. Like, really? Like, you almost hit the doctor. And, if you hit the doctor, you ain't got nothing, right? And so
that was almost a touching moment though with Cara Dune that they
talking about
throwing the Death Star in her face, and she's like,
right.
Which one?
Yeah, which one?
Right. He goes,
right.
You know which one? The one that smashed, all those people all around. Yeah, so then she got a little touchy feely, right?
Yeah, but it was like at the same time, it was like a slight towards the Empire. Like, oh, you had to make a second one.
Yeah,
right.
We
blew up the first one.
But you can see some of that MMA come out in her in this one right here.
She's gonna be awesome. I hope she's the lead in this Ranger show.
Yeah. So then we talk about scene 2. Scene 2, they back off on the planet. That's where you see, well, that's pre-visitor ship, sir. That's it probably Bo-Katan, but I guess she re-sequestered it from him after she done defeated pre-visitor, and so
definitely Mandalorian,
yeah. And so you got the meeting of the Mandalorians. How'd you take that, Troy? How'd you take the meeting of the Mandalorians?
I think that one chick was a little bit too much. Yeah. Like, she needs to recognize this is Boba Fett we're talking about here.
Right.
So,
right.
That's just how I felt. But
right.
But
he lets
Mandalorians are proud. They're proud. So she's gotta show her strength. I guess. I don't know.
They're calling him out as a faker.
Right.
But he does let her know. Hey, look, I'm not Mandalorian. You got me. You got me mixed up. I'm not Mandalorian.
Right.
So I don't follow. Basically, he's telling her I don't follow the same rules you follow. So that makes me more dangerous.
But he, with the little scuffle in the bar there, he was kind of showing his age a little bit because she kind of got him down a little bit.
Right.
But he got up pretty quick, and they faced off with the flamethrowers. So
right. There she is.
I don't know.
He ain't got the scraps like he used to. Stick to the gadgets, Bubba Fett. Stick to the gadgets because you ain't got the scrap like you used to, man. And that, that was kind of like you say, it was crazy because then she disrespected the legend by calling him a sidekick. That is so disrespectful.
Yeah, she went down in my book when she did that.
So disrespectful.
It's crazy because I have to wait until the end, but before I say something. But
yeah. Well, they're pushing them towards like making those power moves. Maybe.
Yeah.
So you got scene 3. We'll go right into scene 3. So now they're planning the attack against Mount Gideon, right? And so they're talking they're being briefed by the scientist, the doctor. They're going through the layout of the cruiser, right? The Empire cruiser. This is where this is at. This is where that at. And so that one upped him in my book because it's like, all right, this dude is doing the right thing. he know that, you know, Moff Gideon's going a little bit too far with taking the child again and all that. So this is the way he's kind of redeeming himself to be with the good guys, right?
Yeah, there wasn't very much resistance, was there?
No.
That was a little interesting. I thought maybe because he was just so struck by what happened to the officer on the ship that he's like, yeah, I'm not going to screw around with this anymore.
Right.
I don't want to get myself blown away.
Right. And it's self-preservation is the best preservation ever.
Yeah.
So self-preservation. So you had to go along to get along. I get it. So then, you know, they come up with it, right? And why? So now you got, what I want to ask Jesse is that you got a Mandalorian has acquired this team, right? He's acquired this team. Why is he still trying to be the Lone Ranger? Like, because he tells him, no, I'm going alone.
I'm going alone. Yeah, I was hoping to see more of the team too. We didn't see Griff or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We didn't see Horatio Sands' character. I thought because he was kind of around.
Yeah, what happened to the Mandalorian? Like the dude, like what happened to him? They lost one. It was 3 of them.
Yeah, that's right. Huh? That's true.
Which one?
It was
3 of
a
them.
man and 2
Oh
ladies.
yeah, man.
They cut one.
I don't know, but so before we can talk about that maybe in the next scene. But yeah, he's. I mean, it's a Western space drama. He's a rare bird. I don't know what it's gonna do. Like, so even like behind the scenes, the actor is kind of butting heads with the production staff, and so that might be showing a little bit on screen too, or somehow being.
I did not know that. I mean, when was that? What was that?
He's had some trouble with they're not sure. So right now they're not moving forward with his storyline on purpose because they have a disagreement right now. I believe he wants to show his face more, but there could be more to it than that. So it's kind of showing in the script. Like, I don't know if they.
So we possibly are witnessing a editorial write out. So they just writ him out of the story.
So if they can't come to an agreement right now, they can just go forward with Boba Fett story and Bo-Katan and whatever they want to do, not bring the Din Djarin character completely back until they make some sort of compromise.
You talk about the Mandalorian. I'm talking about the male that was with the Owl Watch.
Oh yeah, no, I was going back to Din Djarin.
Yeah. So it was
I don't know what happened to him.
Having problems with the production crew.
I don't know what happened to him, but I was okay with it because they kind of had a all-female A-Force moment when they came off the ship. It was the 4 females.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was saying, because that you didn't see him. You didn't see him anymore. Like they completely wrote him out. Like
he was doing a pizza run. That's funny. Yeah, too many side characters. Like I said, I wanted to see the fish guy, Horatio Sands, and Griff, and I thought they were going to need more.
To backtrack for a minute, Jesse, because it's right on the tip of my tongue, and I'm sure I'm going to forget. I think I just forgot. It was Bo-Katan confronts Boba Fett and tells him, "Hey, look, I know who you are. I heard your voice everywhere. You're a clone." Like, she just snips him down. You ain't got to follow. You're a second batch. Like, you're a clone. Like, and he gets real peeved about that. Like, right. And he said, "Yeah, my voice is probably gonna be the last one you hear."
That was those moments are usually pretty prophetic.
Right.
Those are some of my favorite moments in this whole show. Is just them rolling into the bar, just like normal folk, but not real normal folk, and just like that. setting that tone, that atmosphere of the world, and just when the shot where the Mandalorian and Boba Fett came in at the same time, and they both have that simultaneous look around the bar. That was great.
Yeah.
It was that was pretty.
Mandalorians walk into a bar.
Yeah.
Who dies first? Yeah, that sounds like a bad joke, man. Two Mandalorians walk into a bar. Who dies first?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll get there, I guess. They're going different directions with a lot of people setting up these side stories. Some of them might still sew the whole universe together. I'm optimistic that it has that MCU type of angle where they're dropping hints and then going back. So you see return characters, Ahsoka showing up and in different, because we'll probably see that one and the New Republic show first before anything else next.
So they they come up with a scheme, right? And so scene 4, they come up with a scheme where they use the Imperial shuttle, followed by Boba Fett's Slave One, and like they're staging a scene, an attack scene.
Yeah,
I mean they're coming in hot, right? They're coming in hot. But your boy Moff is not like buying it. Like he sees it, but he just not buying it. Like just you just start the tie trooper, start the tie. So you're coming in, so I'm gonna send traffic your way. So I'm gonna hold you up, send traffic your way, check it out. And so so they send the TIE fighters in, right?
Yeah.
And so then Bo-Katan crash lands into the bay of the cruiser, and he sends these dark troopers. Now before we go into these stories, let's talk about these dark troopers, because I think we probably skimmed over the last time we talked about it. And you see these dark troopers are like, they lined up by the wall and they look like that, the Legion, right? The Iron Legion, right? But they had this matter that is being pumped inside of them. What in the world is that? Because whatever that liquid is, that's what's controlling them. They are thinking like a human more than a droid at this point. Like they're making, their movements are totally different than a normal droid, like a Star Wars droid would be, right? Because they're thinking, man, and to show you that, Ben is fighting this one dark trooper, and he is kicking Ben's tail. He knows what Ben is trying to do, and he pulls Ben up off of the controls and tosses him to the other side of the room. That's how I know that this droid ain't a regular droid. Whatever that matter that they pumped into him, that's what's controlling him. Now, what does that matter? Like, what is that stuff?
I didn't even see that stuff, actually. That's something I missed.
There's like tubes, and they're getting juiced up, like Mel says. Part of it could just be startup programming, but because they got a short battery life, but who knows? I think it's too early for it to be something from the child's blood. Mm-hmm. But it could be something
pretty close. It's probably something from Sidious. That's what I'm thinking. Like it's pretty close.
I know we said they're like the Iron Legion, but seeing them in this episode kind of reminded me more of like the Terminators.
Yeah,
because they were so strong, and just their exoskeleton or their endoskeleton, and just pretty crazy.
Red eyes, and
but they can still get pierced by a Beskar spear, so
even a Jedi saber. So
a saber.
And what I want to tell you is that for whatever reason, they felt him coming. They didn't know he was coming. They felt him coming. So they stopped. And I hate to jump the scene, but they stopped. And we'll come back to it. They stopped pounding that door.
Yeah.
So it's, I think Jesse's right on. It's got to be something from Sidious where they kind of sense some stuff, but they can't will this force. Yeah, you know.
That was quite automated, though. Like, they have a threat level priority and
Mhm.
stopped pounding on this door. There's no threat behind that door. They're just going in there. There's a Jedi.
That's true. Because I didn't see any controlling of
But
any
how did they
kind.
know it was like a Jedi? Like
Right.
that?
He
Like,
just, I mean, he just when he entered the bay is when they stopped pounding on the door. So he, you know, so it was crazy. So my man Moff Gideon knows he's under attack. He activate the dark troopers, right? And so now you got Ben Jordan versus the dark trooper, man. How'd you like that fight scene?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was enough. There was enough going on, or enough struggle, I guess, to make it believable instead of Din Djarin just going up and stabbing him.
Mm-hmm.
So there was. I thought there was going to be more than one coming out. I think that would have been a little bit more exciting, but one I guess would have
the
been.
threat of that. Yeah, I didn't know how that door was going to.
Yeah, I don't think he would have survived any more than one.
Yeah, probably not.
That would have been the end of him because that one was giving him a lot of work, man.
And we got another glimpse of the durability or the strength of his forged Beskar armor, because like he was getting bashed into the wall of the ship, and the helmet was like still perfect.
Right.
You didn't see any marks or anything on it after it got smashed into the wall.
That's what Moto's saying in the chat, hammering the helmet into
yeah.
It was great, and it's kind of a callback. There's some callbacks I think that are deep cuts, but when he was in Game of Thrones, he also fought with a spear and got his face smashed in by the mountain.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny. Yeah.
So that scene was good because it showed like it took every bit of his ammunition, those sparrows or whatever they're called. And,
yeah.
He didn't use his fire really, but he did. He used his fire. It was cool.
Yeah.
I was hoping that guy was gonna stay on fire and like Sidious and Terminator, like Terminator robot on fire. Oh my god! So,
and I thought that was the end of the box. I said, "Oh yeah, put some fire on, and that's it." Nope, this one.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna fry his circuits or do something to him to where he could get away, but nope.
I'm glad he took one out, and that spear's coming in handy for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was waiting for him to use it.
Yeah, and that you notice he put the rifle down. Now he's got this spear, this Beskar spear, right? That's his long range weapon now, right? This the spear. And so that was pretty good to see him. So apparently it looks like he had some training with like a spear type of weapon, as training to be a Mandalorian, because he was wielding that thing like a pro.
Yeah, that was a good action sequence.
So once he makes short work of this dark trooper, he finds the child, and there's Moff Gideon with his cowardly lion self, and sitting there with the dark saber. So now it's Ben Jordan versus Moff Gideon, right? And what got me was that I thought
don't forget the long villainous like "here's my plan" speech by the bad guy.
Right, yep, I'm gonna give you blow by blow, and that's how it is. I'm gonna give you blow by blow
before they fought.
Right, and it's like, hey, look, I'm gonna let you go if that's all you want. I'm gonna let you go. I got his blood, and you could be off my ship, be on your way. Nah, then he goes into him with the.
For a moment, he had me going. I thought maybe he was gonna just let him go.
But here's the thing: he said he knew everything, right? So if you knew everything, you knew that dark saber was not.
I know everything.
Yeah, you knew that dark saber was not going to pierce that Beskar. You had, I mean, since you knew everything, right? So why would you even try?
Yeah, I don't know. Not a trained user. I don't know.
Well, he's not completely covered in Beskar. There's little puncture points he could have hit, but yeah, I mean, why swipe at him and hit the armor when you could have just stabbed into him like in between the Beskar?
Right.
He would have caught it somehow. It made a good fight sequence again.
Yeah.
So now, Din Djarin's fighting Moff Gideon. Another great sword on sword this time, I think, or staff on sword. sequence that was way good, actually, the way that he was using the staff or spear at that point.
Okay.
It was almost too good. Like how, yeah. Did he must have had some spear training before he got that thing, because there's no way he could have gotten
he
that
learned
good.
it in Game of Thrones, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. He must have had some training or something. It was like he was like this gladiator all of a sudden with the spear. Like, mind you, in the beginning, we never even seen him with a spear. He always had like a gun, or a long range gun, or a short range gun, a pistol, or whatever, you know. And now all of a sudden, you see something.
I don't know. He's a man of gadgets too. So he's trained in multi weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Moto. That was I noticed that too. I was like, oh, is it gonna heat up enough to where it's gonna break the spear? Because I was waiting for it, because it happened like 2 or 3 times where it got red hot. The spear got red hot in certain areas.
Didn't deform. I think it's fine. I like that there's, something that can fend off a lightsaber. It's almost all powerful, but not quite.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So my man defeats Moff Gideon, right? Like, if there was ever any question to it. And then he makes his way up to the cockpit where the rest of the team is. And as soon as he opened the door, your girl says, "What happened?"
And did you notice, like, the center of that shot was the Darksaber?
Right. What happened? Like, what?
Like, there's the Darksaber in the center of the shot, then Jaren, then Moff Gideon tied up,
right,
and the child. Like, it was like, so I mean, for the deep cut, people are like, she's looking at that sword, like, what happened? Why are you holding the sword? You don't care about Moff Gideon.
What happened?
The get-go.
You know exactly what happened. They fought your fight. And so, here's the thing with that is that, Moff Gideon knew what time it was, and it was like every move that Moff Gideon makes was like a calculated one. Like, all right, if I lose this one, I still have this ace up my sleeve. If I lose this one, I have this ace up my sleeve. Like, so he was like a magician a little bit. So he knew he was going to lose to the Mandalorian. So what do? You give the Darksaber to that Mandalorian and let the Mandalorians fight amongst themselves, right?
Oh, we called it out right away. Why don't you kill him right now?
Right. Right.
He's smart like Thrawn. I hope they're setting up like the smart villain that Thrawn is going to be with this Moff Gideon character. So,
but they leave us hanging with that, bro. They leave us hanging because they'll go ahead and end it, right?
Another chapter.
He still has this Darksaber, right? He technically is still in his custody. He doesn't want it though. He doesn't want it, but it doesn't work that way. Right.
But you have to win it in combat to have stake to planet of Mandalore, leader of Mandalore.
Right.
That's so now we could go off the script a little bit and theorize when that chapter could be played out, because they did not announce a Bo-Katan series.
Okay.
They are going to follow the Mandalorian. But that could be actually a little bit of a trick. That the next season could be Boba Fett.
Okay.
I know I'm jumping ahead here, but we'll talk about it later, I guess. But the book of Boba Fett could be a whole season of Boba Fett under the Mandalorian title. They used that font. And the first 2 seasons of the Mandalorian was the book of Din Djarin and Grogu, if you will. But and then a whole nother season could be a Bo-Katan series or something, so that there's a lot of strings behind the scenes that they can tell these stories like comic books do, team ups and other quick one-off 8-episode series. But yeah, that so I think the Darksaber chapter is moving forward his new mission.
Okay.
With Grogu gone to Luke.
So Grogu's gone. do you think he takes this dark saber, even if Bo-Katan allows him to? Because you know she probably won't. She's just that type of character. But you think he takes this dark saber back to the armorer? Does he even go back to the armor at this point? Because now
so he's missionless right now, and he actually promised that I don't care what it takes, I'll help you do anything as long as I get the child back.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. She helped do that, just like Boba Fett helped get the child back, and now he's free of his
right, his duty, right.
And so now the Djarin is promised, I think, to at least help her somehow take Mandalore back, not meet the armorer. And it's going to be something weird the way they'll have to battle for that sword.
Because you got to think about the armorer and Bo-Katan are two different factions of Mandalorian, right? And
yeah, it's
one believes one way and the other believes the other, right? But now Den has taken his helmet off to the world now at this point. And so and it was funny because it was leading up, like the episode before that was like, you know, him and Bill Burr's character, you know, he took his helmet off and I won't tell you, you know, I won't tell you. I think it was just leading up to that. It's like, all right, eventually he's going to take this thing off in front of everybody. I think that was the lead up. And so now he finally gave it up and took his helmet off in front of everyone. So you could never go back to that fashion where the armorer is at this point because people know your identity now.
Yeah,
the watch is gone, I think, because like the only one that was left was the leader, right? Because when they went back, she was the only one left, and all the armor was left.
Right.
Remember?
Uh-huh.
And that she said she was going to take care of it, so she was probably going to smelt it down, and that was it. So I don't think we'll ever go back there unless we absolutely have to for something super specific.
There'll be like hopefully they get to retell this Mandalore story where there's a faction of Death Watch where they don't take their helmets off. And there's other ones out there that and maybe it's the same armorer that finds other separated factions. But the Death Watch versus the Bo-Katan be a continuation of more Clone Wars.
So you have that that storyline there, and then like so let's hit reverse a little bit. The dark
at the window.
Yeah, the dark troopers are banging at this door, and then all of a sudden they just stop, right?
No, we see an X-wing. You see an
X-wing, and all of a sudden they just stop, right? Now, Grogu knows what time it is, right? Moff Gideon's face knows what time it is, right? He knows what time it is because there's only one other thing that can happen that make these jokers stop from pounding that door, and they stop, and you can see his face. He knew a Jedi was coming, and so that kind of tells me that whatever that matter is, it's definitely he's pretty close, you know, because those robots sensed that Jedi and they stopped and they went after this unknown Jedi, right? And so my man is all blacked out. He's coming through the door. He's making waste of every last stormtrooper here. I mean, dark trooper. He's making waste of every last one of them, right? One right after the other, right?
Slowly, we see this cloaked figure.
But what gets me is that they do show as a golden boy as this dude is, right? And you see how I cleaned out as a golden boy as this dude is. You do see a dark side of him when he hits that last dark trooper, and he crushes him with his fist, like with the Force, using the Force. Now your daddy is famous for that move.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too. I was like, I didn't even know Luke could do that.
Right.
That whole hallway sequence was just like Vader in Rogue One.
Yeah, that was
taking out stormtroopers left and right, or taking out the rebels, and then using the Force, and all in this enclosed hallway. It was very Rogue One. Vader. So yeah, I mean, we see before that we see the black hand. So on the glove, one gloved hand and a green lightsaber, but we don't really see his face.
Right.
But we all know who it is.
And he comes through the door in a CGI Luke. So your first thoughts are seeing CGI Luke. Now it can't be the real dude because the real dude is pretty old. He's 2 times that age. So
I thought it was done better than Tarkin was in Rogue One.
Oh, okay, yeah,
it was done better, I thought, this time.
Okay,
but still, the eyes with the CG, you look at the eyes, you can instantly tell it's not him.
Very video game. It feels like a video game.
I mean,
yeah.
He picked up a little bit of weight, which, you know, at this point, Luke would be a little bit older, right? Not old, but a little bit older. He's not the young boy that he was, and he's more seasoned. So he's a little bit older, you know, eating pretty well because, you know, the Empire's supposed to be gone. So, you know, he's eating well. So he looked like, you know, he looked like a thicker Luke, like he was a little bit more, had a couple more pounds, like he had the Boba Fett thing going on just a little bit in his face, right?
He went from a kid to a young adult in the original series, and now he's a full-fledged adult.
Definitely Return of the Jedi Luke.
Yeah.
Deal there.
He seemed to be wearing that same black color scheme, which I thought maybe would have faded to more of a gray if he's going, had that redemption arc during Return of the Jedi, and now without the Empire, doesn't seem like he lightened his mood or through his wardrobe anyway.
Maybe that's because he's still conflicted between the light and dark a little bit, right? Maybe he's a little bit conflicted, and it took one of his family members to kind of turn him that way, to kind of turn himself away from the whole thing. Like, look, I can't. He banished himself to an island, because he was trying to run away from it all at that point.
But I don't think all that has happened yet, because we're only 3 or 4 years or a handful of years after Return of the Jedi, right?
Right.
So I don't think we're that far forward yet, because The Force Awakens was like 20 years after Return of the Jedi? Is that what it was?
That was like 30.
30? Okay, so yeah, I don't think we're that far yet into Luke's.
We're only 5 years.
Yeah, we're not that far yet. So he probably hasn't even started his Jedi Academy yet.
No.
Or maybe he's just starting it, and Grogu would be a great recruit to start off with. I don't know.
He's helping train Leia right now, and random Jedi, hopefully.
Now, how poetic is that? Is that the student that become a master becomes a teacher of possibly the offspring of his teacher? Possibly. I know it's blasphemous, but I'm that type of person. It's possibly, because there's no other, no one else in this universe so far has seen another creature like this so far.
So I should hit that nail on the head actually during the episode and said something like, I can work with this one. He reminds me of an old friend.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. That would have been, I think, a decent moment.
So now I'm gonna ask you to speculate, right? And you might have some hate mail coming your way when you speculate, but I'm gonna ask you to speculate just a little bit. Now, say you're Luke, right? And you hear a call out. You're responding to the call to help this Jedi who's asking for assistance. Now, I don't know, through the Force, can you see this person? You probably could, and that's probably why he came as fast. But think about it. What are all the possibilities of Luke? Like when you first see Grogu, when you're Luke and you first see Grogu, what are you thinking?
You know what? I don't think there was much of a surprise there, because he reached out to Luke. So he already knew he was there. So I don't think there was much of a surprise or he was just, I think he was more surprised about everybody else that was there.
Well, he could have even. Well, could he have? Not seen him before? Luke would have been too young. Because Grogu's 55, so he could have been back.
You're cutting
But
out
yeah,
there.
when they reached out, when Grogu reached out with the Force and they communicated,
he could have seen him then. Yeah, he could have seen him then, right?
Could have projected images.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, he already knew.
And then maybe back and forth, and then Grogu also might have had some memory of seeing an astromech before when R2 showed up.
Yeah, I like how you brought R2. That was so nostalgic. It was like totally brought me back when R2 came in. Not Luke, R2. When R2 came in, I was like, okay, it's perfect.
That's when Luke looked more real to me.
Yeah.
I knew they had to do the face reveal, but maybe with R2 rolling up at the same time would have really like made that, because it's always been like almost this central focus around droids.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, it was like the big surprise of Luke, and then the smaller little surprise afterwards.
Yeah, it's a hidden focus.
Yeah. But the voice, was it Mark Hamill that did the voice? Because that was like spot on younger Luke.
He got credit again for the episode. So
yeah, he really nailed it, making him feel or seem younger in the voice.
Didn't say too much, but yeah. It was good when he was like, he's looking for your permission.
yeah, that was pretty cool. Like, yeah, it wasn't like he didn't want to go. He's just looking for your permission to go.
So he understood that. So I think that was good. And that was a touching moment.
It was a touching moment when he removed his helmet and he reached out to his face. That was, I gotta say, it was pretty good.
That was cute.
The music, the score with that was great. It was very good.
Liked, and people might not, maybe they'll like the traditional stuff, but when Luke was killing all the dark troopers, it got a little dubstep or something in there.
Oh yeah, that's when they were charging up, wasn't it?
They were fighting. Maybe it was when the dark troopers were charging. And
yeah, I saw that.
They had like their own theme music going on, and
yeah, I noticed that too.
A little dubstep, huh?
Got a little,
oh boy,
got a little EDM, and I was like, this. And it was like back and forth. There was like a slow flute, like orchestra, and then it was like. I was like, whoa, all right. What's the composer's name? Ludwig something. He's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, somebody in the chat's skipping ahead on us.
Yeah, they're skipping.
That's one of my favorite parts of the whole thing.
All right, so you fast forward, and then somebody mentioned, it's been nice with Boba Fett, was probably, checking perimeter, make sure everything was safe out there while all that stuff was going down on the ship. You roll credits, right?
Roll credits.
I rolled the credits and I stopped it. I usually stop it like mid credits. I'm like, why is there like 5 minutes left? So I click resume again, and then
I didn't look at the time, but I had a feeling like I was still digesting the whole episode. So when you just like when you watch Endgame or something, you're like, I mean, even at the end of Endgame, I'm like, I don't think there's a post credits, but I got to just sit here and just like
find it.
So I let it roll and was
roll credits. What do you think, man? They take you back to Jabba's palace, which looked awesome.
It looks so good,
right? And so kudos for for montaging that. So you got Jabba's palace, and so they're going in. Bubba going in for revenge, and who you think he expect to see? Like, he's got to know at this point. He's got to know that Jabba's gone.
Yeah. What's the name of his Jabba's right hand man? I can't remember that character's name.
Bib Fortuna.
What is it?
Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna, that's right.
So it looked like he had fattened up like a king.
Yeah, he was becoming a little Jabba himself.
He was
little mini Jabba
himself. You know, it's funny. Like it's like, wait a minute, dude. I remember you being all fat like that, not the shape. Like he was. It didn't had the nerve to had a little slave at the bottom of the daggone chain. Like it was like, oh, this dude.
Yeah, the slave. Yeah, it was
He
like
wanted to be. He wanted to be a hut so bad, huh? But his species, he's not even a hut.
no.
Nope, he's not.
So how in the world do he look so hideous like that? I mean, that was ridiculous.
I don't know. He's old. I just love that they wasted no time killing him off. He was like, "Oh, nice to see you again. I didn't expect you to be here." Done.
You know,
they wasted no time right back on that chair.
Doesn't matter what you think. That's what it is with that rock. That rock. It doesn't matter.
Yep, and then he just sits on the throne like Killmonger in Black Panther. He's just like,
yeah. And he has his right hand woman.
You think happens? So now we see Boba Fett come back, right? And he's got his little ace right there with Fennec, right? You know that's his sniper right there, and his muscle, and so they take over the palace. What happens? Does that become a bounty guild? Like what happens with that palace and Boba Fett?
We'll see. Christmas, December of 2021.
Most of us won't even be here then.
That was good. So they showed
a long, far way out, bro. I hate when they do stuff like that.
That's a year out. That's like, so they're filming Boba Fett, and they end the credits with that title in the Mandalorian font, and that's what I was kind of getting to earlier. So like, I think they're just going to title that show The Mandalorian Season 3, The Book of Boba Fett, or it could be a Season 2.5. I don't know.
I wasn't even expecting any more Boba Fett like that, so I am super excited.
A good concept, my friend. I didn't even think of that. So now let's go back to the actor that plays Din Djarin, right? He's having conflict with the producer, Pedro Pascal. Right?
Yep.
So he's having real life conflict with the producers, right?
The actor.
They put the ice on the Mandalorian and they roll with Boba Fett because one Mandalorian is as good as another, maybe.
Yep, for the next season.
And maybe that's why they blew up the Razor Crest.
Hey,
I don't know.
My heart, bro.
I don't know if they do.
I knew Boba Fett was going to give up his slave one. Give me a break.
My heart, bro, man.
Part of it is, now that we've seen the end of the season, is, I think his story is he's tied to the Darksaber and Bo-Katan's timeline, so he kind of needs to follow this ship for a little while, and then maybe he'll get his own ship that's a little different than the Razor Crest, but very bounty hunter-y.
I think they put an ice on the show because there's no way. Let me tell you, there's no way that they're going to run both of these shows simultaneously like that. It's just that's an overload. You'll be trying to get off one show, and hop on to another one. They just not. And granted, like they gave us Mandalorian around this time, so if they're filling this Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett series, like with this. I think they put the Mandalorian show on ice for a year until they figure out what's next.
Or they kind of do like a dual storyline where like they have one episode where it's focused on one storyline, or one subplot with Boba Fett, and then they have another subplot with Din Djarin and the other Mandalorians.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, it all converges into one episode somehow through storytelling. I don't know, maybe.
Some amazing storytelling.
They're making it up a little bit as they go on, because I think season 1 they didn't have Grogu planned to go that far. They stretched it out into this season 2 finale of. That guy was more of a like lone wolf and cub on purpose story, but anyway, that we got it.
Right.
Hopefully, we see more again stories. I think we'll see Ahsoka next. I think, right? That'll be great. I can't. More than one episode of it.
They're gonna do the Cara Dune, right? But I don't think, man. You know what? I don't think it's going to be hard because people want to see that, but it's hard to do a sequel, and run a sequel after the main show, man. Like, it's tough.
Oda wants to see a new movie, The Gonk Droid.
Gonk Droid.
Gonk. Gonk. He walking around the city just gonk.
All about it.
Open up bag 9 instead of bag 6. It happens.
Moto's saying Ahsoka's gonna get into Thrawn. Getting to Thrawn too is
and see, that's it. That's another person I want to see, because if you here's the thing, if they're going after Thrawn, chances are we get to see Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
And a lot of maniacs been tossing that around, like, real life Ezra Bridger, maybe a Cal Kestis,
Yeah, I'd be for that. Sabine too. I thought we were gonna see a Sabine Wren.
Yep.
She's Mandalorian.
The Rebels crew. That would be pretty.
They could do Ahsoka and Thrawn and have Sabine show up, and then when they go back to Mandalorian, have Sabine still around. Old Mandalorian arc, because that's some old lore right there. So there's plenty to tell, I think.
So are you happy? Are you happy they left you on the hook? They left you on the hook for a few things. The conflict between Din and Bo-Katan with the dark saber, and the whereabouts or the possibilities of this young Luke Skywalker with Grogu.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how they're going to pull that off with the CG. You know what I mean?
They got to get Sebastian Stan. Play the Bucky Winter Soldier. It looks just like Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to fly.
Hey, if Tupac can come back from the grave and do a whole concert at Coachella CGI, surely. I know.
I mean, it's okay to do little glimpses of him, like they did in this episode in Rogue One, but to do a whole few episodes of just that, it's gonna be hard. I don't know.
Yeah, because then it looks animated. At that point, it starts to look animated a little bit. So,
yeah. I don't know if they'll go down that road. But it'd be great. I don't know. There's still a lot of possibilities.
Friends, it was just so exciting. It's so exciting. I'm definitely gonna watch the whole season over again.
Overpowered.
Man, it just when you thought that, and honestly, look, I thought they were gonna leave us hanging with this child thing. I thought they were gonna leave you hanging for a whole year, and just just prolong it. The child be safe, but it just to be continued. But it's good that they, I felt good that they closed this chapter with the child to move on to the next thing, but then they still left you hanging. You want more. Like, they left you hanging, and it's like, oh man, like, I want to see my man Luke. I want to see the Boba Fett thing. I want to see him, come back and kick some tail and stuff like that. Because he want to get back to her. Boba Fett want to get back to her, man. He been disrespected for a long time.
You think so?
Love it. I just love how they did that. So
this is the big payback for Boba Fett. This is the big payback.
But yeah, there's a lot of stories there. They'll leave Grogu for maybe 10 years in the future or something, or maybe they'll tie him to something else. I don't know.
I don't think you ever see Grogu again. I think they move on.
Oh no, he's too much of a cash cow for merchandise.
I think
I don't know. I think they're focusing more on Boba Fett now, bringing Boba Fett back. With that teaser at the end, that kind of like cements the idea that they're moving on. They're going to focus more on Boba Fett and other stuff.
Hey, what one Mandalorian won't do, another will.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible you could bring him back like another season down the road, maybe. I don't know.
I wouldn't. I'll leave it be. Put him in the past, man. Because ain't much he really can do for you at this point. He's still a child. So I mean, what are you gonna do? He used the Force to go to sleep.
He could come back.
He used the Force to go to sleep.
Wait, what did you say his name was, Mel?
Grogu. Yeah, I know. I said it. I said it. I said it. It's shenanigans. That's what it's called.
I just had to check for a second. I thought I was going crazy for a
It's shenanigans. Shenanigans is what it is. Then name something and then write them off the show.
You're like, oh, he's gone now, so I can say his name.
Terrible, man. Terrible.
Anything
we missed, fellas? Anything we missed?
Cara Dune's gun locking up.
Yeah.
And then in the elevator, she gets it going, and then she just comes out. All right, I'm here to redeem myself. Just tears everybody up.
Shout out to using futuristic cuss words, right? And you can use them because they're not really in existence in our time yet. So they're not a cuss word in our time. They're not yet. But so she was going in like on it, man. And what'd she say? A ferret, mother ferret, or whatever it was.
Son of a something.
I don't know. I'll have to watch it again.
And then the dank ferret is
dang ferret
is a reoccurring F word, I believe.
Right.
And then I heard a McClunky, I think.
Oh, here's something we didn't talk about.
What do you think? But I think I heard a McClunky in this episode.
McClunky. What do you think they're going to do with Moff now that they have him in their custody, alive?
If they move forward, well, here's how I see it. If they move forward with the Cara Dune series or this Mandalorian series, I think that they can reintroduce Thrawn. Thrawn comes and liberates Moff, because Moff knows too much. So he comes to the rescue of Moff, and that's how they introduce Thrawn. Just my two cents.
I can see that.
Rescue him or take him out because he knows too much. That's a good angle. That could be wow.
I mean, the guy was part of the research department, especially with the project that they were doing with Sidious and getting close to Yoda and all that, man. And they still got Yoda's blood and all that stuff. So I mean,
what do you think they did with the blood of Grogu, or what do you think they're gonna do with it? Think they're gonna clone him or what?
Yeah, because he said that would he made a statement saying that would balance the basically balance the force, like it would balance.
That's right.
Because right now they're losing, and so that it would to get somebody on their side like that would definitely balance, would tip it in their favor. To them is balance and order, but it would tip it in their favor. Would have been great to see how they would have made maybe an evil Yoda. Imagine an evil Yoda, man, little dude kicking tail.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, Doc says to revive the Emperor. That's what I was kind of thinking of. Is like maybe somehow, in the early stages of bringing back the Emperor, using that blood somehow.
And maybe they were successful, because if you look at The Last Jedi, they did a lot of cloning, and eventually, he wasn't the best version of it, but he had his powers. He wasn't in a physical form, but he had his powers. I mean,
yeah.
So makes you believe that some way they were successful, possibly, maybe.
Maybe that's how Ray came into being.
You know what? You got me thinking that too. Like maybe how maybe that's how Ray came to life. Maybe she's part of that. That she's got that blood, and they went ahead and injected into a baby.
They could do a lot with some of the way they skirted a lot of that subject.
Hey, you know what? That would have fixed a lot of the issues I have with the new trilogy then, if that was the case.
Yeah, injected into a baby and
with her force powers and stuff.
Yeah, because think about it. Now, one doesn't have to do what I'm about to say. One doesn't have to do with the other, of course, because like remember watching The Boys, right? And they were trying to, at one point, they were trying to inject them in adults, and it wasn't working. So they decided to do the kids and the babies, right? And so maybe they injecting this blood, or this Yoda's blood, the Jedi blood, into babies would automatically give them this force or this presence, right? And maybe that's how Rey came to pass, because she was a Palpatine, technically.
We don't want to go there.
Yeah, no. Some people
butt chop.
Yeah, now we're off the rail a little bit.
We don't want to trigger butt chop.
Butt chop? What butt chop? This is my stream, pal. He got on me last time because I was wrong last time, because I was talking about it, and I was he was right, I was wrong, but now the tables turn. This is what we're talking about, pal. Nah, I love butt chop. He's funny. All right, man. So if we got it all, man, I think we got it all, man. We can call it.
I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us and listening to our theories and stuff like that. Please don't get mad, because we know it's just theories. Our just thoughts. It ain't what's true and what's real. And ultimately, it's all sci-fi anyway, right?
Yeah. Star Wars. Hey, Willie in chat. Thanks for showing up. Butt chop, Doc, Moto.
We appreciate all of you.
Thanks for joining, guys.